Everyone, welcome to another edition of The Metal Voice. We got a special edition. We always have a special edition. As you can see, Alan's not here today because he's out of country, but that's okay. The show must go on. Today on our show, we have Michael Kiske, former Helloween singer, current Place Vendôme singer, current Unisonic singer, current Michael Kiske solo band singer, and of course, always a special guest on Avantasia as a singer or a guest singer. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. This new album, Thunder in the Distance, Place Vendôme, produced by Dennis Ward. The musical direction.
Well, it was always meant to be AOR. I mean, that's how Serafino approached me in 2003.
Okay.
When he said, he was just asking me if I would be interested in general to be singing an AOR record, because it's the type of music he loves. I mean, he's into bands like Journey, Foreigner, and stuff like that. I mean, that's stuff that he personally likes a lot.
Yeah.
And that was actually the plan in the beginning, to go with the record.
Yep.
And then Dennis Ward got the job for the producer, and I got to know him, and it all turned out a little more mixed. It was not only AOR. On the first one we had clear AOR tracks, but there were also other tracks on it that even meet rock and metal sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think with this one, we really are AOR, and that's quite cool with me, because that was the basic idea of Place Vendôme anyway, you know.
And it's a basic idea of Michael Kiske, right? You're always flexing that vocal muscle, right? Trying and stretching.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the songs, I mean, all that we do is really, we just say yes or no. I mean, usually we say yes because Serafino pretty much knows what would probably not like, you know. So he does a pre-selection of songs from the songwriters that he has on his end, and then he sends them to us, and then Dennis and I say what we think, you know. Usually it goes very quickly, like 2 or 3 weeks we have like the songs picked, you know.
Yeah, like I could speak for Canada. Like, we'll never hear Helloween or Michael Kiske music on the traditional radio. What about in Hamburg? Do these songs make it on the radio? I'm talking about traditional radio.
No, not at all. I mean, the radio is like it's almost like communism these days. I mean, there's nothing happening other than what is scientifically proven as not bothering housewives that are ironing her clothes and things like that. You know, it's pretty ridiculous. So if you're in the charts #1, well, then they have to play you. But usually with that type of music, you don't get there.
It's sad. It's sad, because I've listened to this album, and thank you very much for a copy. And it's not Helloween. So I mean, right off the bat, people should understand this is not Helloween. And then once you've gotten past that, then you could really enjoy the album, because your voice is incredible, and it just shows another side of you, and it's fun to listen to. And I think that's what the word is. You just put it on when you're driving your car, hopefully not too fast, but it's a fun record to listen to, and people who love listening to your voice will really enjoy this album.
Well, we have done the third one now, so it's like I think there is an audience already there that knows what to expect. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's an AOR audience, really. Like, it's not so much a metal audience. Well, sometimes some metal fans also like that.
Sure.
Not all metalheads are just, in one direction or whatever. I was the same way. I mean, I was listening to a lot of different styles when I was a teenager. Even when I was like full Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Metallica. I was always very open-minded, and there are many fans like that, you know, who like Magnum or whatever, or the new Iron Maiden, or maybe even some new metal, you know.
How about the 80s music? Do you love 80s? Like Journey?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's when I grew up.
Me too.
I mean, I'm definitely influenced by that era. But I was actually, to be honest with you, I was always an Elvis and a Beatles fan.
Sure.
I mean, that was really the music that excited me. And then there was metal, and some of the pop bands. Like I was listening to U2, who actually transformed to a rock band these days.
Yeah.
I was also listening to Kate Bush and Eurythmics and even Pat Benatar at the same time that I was listening to some of the bigger metal names. You know, I was always very open-minded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way you got to be, right, in music. That's how I always find. How about like I got a lot of questions from vocal enthusiasts.
Right.
Like the vocal community, right? They're always kind of trying to find and understand, how the mechanisms of working the voice, right? Were you born a natural baritone, like sort of like Jeff Tate, and just develop that head voice to where you become this phenomenal tenor?
Yeah, I mean, this very high pitched singing is not normal for any male voice. I mean, even if you look at a Wagner tenor, for instance, they all have to work on a certain technique to get up there, and everybody does it slightly different.
Yeah.
And that's just something you have to work with, and that's what I'm doing up to this day. I really enjoy singing, and I was just singing before we did this interview. I was singing for 2 hours.
Oh, okay. So you do warm-ups?
Sorry?
So you do like warm-ups before the gig, and you do like a warm down after the gig?
I don't necessarily do a warm down.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
I don't know. I mean, that's what I hear from the vocalists out there. I mean, I don't know. Whatever works, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I mean, maybe when the show is over, you sing a couple of songs here and there easily or whatever. But warming up is very essential. I usually do that like an hour before the show. Very relaxed Elvis tunes and stuff.
So from your chest voice, can you actually get up to that octave above middle C? Can you hit those tenor notes with your chest voice, or do you have to actually switch to the head voice falsetto?
I can. It really depends on the
day.
It depends on the day. How much you lean over to the falsetto. Yeah. And usually it happens automatically when you go to a certain height.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one out there, including someone like Dickinson or whatever. When they get to a certain height, there's always an element of falsetto in there. There is no other way to do this.
Yeah. And speaking of Dickinson, is it true that Iron Maiden actually once considered you when Dickinson left? Did they consider you as a vocalist? I mean, what's the rumor behind that?
I don't think so. That was just something.
You never got the call?
I even saw that on TV.
Really?
Yeah, there was a metal show that they showed here over in Germany, and they said that I'm the new singer of Iron Maiden, which was very interesting because I didn't know anything about it. We had the same management. We toured with Iron Maiden around the Seven Son of a Seven Son tour, and
yes.
I don't know. I wouldn't have joined them. I mean, I'm a big Iron Maiden fan.
You wouldn't have joined them? What are you
join a band like that, because it's like you just get all the shit from people who don't like you. It's like it's way better to make your own band than joining a band with a name. With a name like Maiden. I mean, and also let's be frank. I mean, they would never take a German singer. I mean, I don't think that they would ever consider a German singer. But I wouldn't fit in there anyway. I mean, as much as I like the guys, and I love the music and all that, and I grew up with it.
Yeah.
I'm different than that. I just need to do my own kind of thing.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, personally, I think you would have fit in perfectly, but as a vocalist, maybe that's not where you wanted to be at the time, right? And that's cool too.
Yeah. I honestly think it's the most painful thing you can do if you join a band that has like a fan base like Iron Maiden. I mean, you would just get so much crap. I mean, they love Dickinson, and I don't want to hear anyone else in Maiden than Dickinson, to be honest.
Okay, Michael, let's cut this out here. I mean, if you would have joined Maiden, they would have loved you. Period. The transition would have been easy. Forget about it. Okay, let's not go there. Don't tell me all these things here. All right.
Okay.
All right. So and now just jumping into a little more history now. The Helloween Keeper of the Seven Keys album, monumental album. I mean, I'm probably the same age as you are. You joined the band at 18 years old?
You're 25 too? That's great.
Yeah. I was 25 20 years ago.
Yeah, me too. Exactly 25
So
years.
You're 18 years old. I was probably 18 years old, and I went to buy the first album. And I just looked at the cover and I bought the album, basically, right? Monumental album. The first album comes out, huge success. Everybody loves you guys. And then The Keeper of the Seven Keys comes out, number 2, right? Part 2. Yeah. Suddenly, I heard about this album being released. Of course, no radio play, but I can't find it anywhere. What happened? I mean, was there some sort of business problems? I mean, I remember in Canada, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but in Canada, you couldn't even find Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2.
I don't know about that. I mean, around the release of Keeper Part 2, everything was still fine. It was after the touring and everything, and when we were planning to make another record after Part 2, that's when we had like legal fights with the company who cheated on us and things like that. It was Sanctuary was trying to get us out of the deals and stuff like that, and they pretty much succeeded after a while. But Keeper Part 2 should not have been a problem to get, really. Maybe it was just maybe they just didn't take care of the publishing enough or whatever in your era. I don't know.
Then we have Chameleon that comes out. Then we have Pink
Bubbles Go Ape.
Pink Bubbles Go Ape. It's a mouthful, right? It comes out, and then there's the division of the band. Kay Hansen leaves after Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2. And then you're on the outs. I guess, was it a division of camps? It was like you and Kai versus the rest of the band the whole time? What was the dynamic happening there?
Well, it started with Kai wanting to leave. He had his... I mean, I think it was a huge mistake that he left, and I don't think that he would ever admit it, but I'm pretty sure he sees it the same way now, looking back at it. He was just not... He was just very unhappy with his life in general, and in my opinion, he was kind of reflecting it or mirroring it into the band. He was kind of, seeing things within the band that were just not there, that I think were just his personal kind of things. But he thought he has to leave, and I think that changed everything. Sure. I mean, as soon as that's the thing when you have a functioning band, you should never change a person. If one person leaves and gets replaced by another one, you might have a whole different spirit.
Yeah.
And that's what we had. Suddenly, in my opinion, heaven turned into hell. It's like when Kai was there, and it's not necessarily just Kai. I like him a lot, but it's like he was just one part of the band. But when he left, the whole chemistry was just gone. It was just no fun anymore, and it was weird things were going on, games were going on, and we did the best we could. We did another mistake by choosing a wrong producer. That was actually something that Rod Smallwood talked us into. He didn't mean bad. I love Rod. Rod is a great guy, and I always had a great relationship with him. But it was not right to do that. It wasn't good. Tommy Hansen was very good for us. So it's like there was a couple of things that came together. The band changing, kind of there without his... We didn't have his guitar playing anymore. We didn't have his songwriting, his personality. And everything was just slowly kind of...
disintegrating?
Yeah, it was no fun anymore. And then we did this last record, the Chameleon record, and then it was pretty much over, looking at that era. So it's like, it has to do, there's a couple of pieces that came together to really...
I did an interview, we just did an interview with Michael Wyckoff, right, if I pronounce his last name right. He had kind words to say about you, but I could also sense, that there's a lot of history, sort of like, two brothers at each other. Is that correct way to say it?
Well, it was, I met him actually a couple of weeks ago. I met him in Sweden.
You told me that actually.
At Sweden Rock, and he was extremely nice, and you could tell that he wants to make peace and stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like there was just a whole lot of things that went down in the early 90s.
Yeah.
That were just pretty stupid. But maybe he sees now that it wasn't clever what he did there. I don't know. But it's like you can't really turn back time. I'm much rather work with Unisonic now than something like that.
If he gave
it's too long ago. It's too long ago. It's 20 years. It's over 20 years that I'm no longer in this band.
If he gave you a call tomorrow, right? He calls you, hey, Michael, we're doing a reunion. What do you say? Come on stage with us, or let's do one more album. We'll even do it with Andy Darrow, so you guys could trade off in vocals. What would you do? Would you say yes?
No.
Ah, come on, you'd say yes.
No.
You seriously?
No.
No, you don't want to go down there.
I don't believe in that. I say, we're not really friends anymore. There's just too much crap went down. I'm fine with making peace. I'm fine with all the bad vibes disappearing and stuff like that. But it's like it just doesn't work like that. I know that fans have certain ideas of what they think would be cool and stuff, but I need to make music with people that I really like, I know that they like me and that we respect each other, and it's got to be fun. And I have Kai in Unisonic, which is a big portion of the old Helloween. We're not trying to be Helloween. I never tried to be Helloween. I don't see any sense in it. It's a different band. Anything that I've done afterwards was something else. That was the plan. I'm not really. I don't see reunions Helloween reunion or anything like that happening. To be honest with you, it's not really what interests me.
What if I call him up and I'll be the mediator between you guys? We'll work it out. We'll bash it out. We'll get the deal going. No. Okay.
Nah.
I won't push my luck. All right. I got some fan questions from around the world. You ready?
Music? Yeah, sure.
So Alan from Canada, who's not here today. What happened? He went to see you actually in Quebec City with Avantasia. What happened to Tobias before and during Avantasia during the Quebec City show? I mean, he was sick. What was it like to have to jump in and save the day on the songs Toby was supposed to sing, Tobias?
That was okay. It was. I mean, it's like we had been doing a few shows, so you kind of relaxed anyway. You know, I'm not very nervous when it comes to live shows anymore. I was a couple of years ago when I started again, so it's like it's fun. You know, it's fun. You have the lyrics on the monitor in the front and stuff. I mean, it's much better to have Toby there, but he was really sick. He had like a very high fever, so we were trying to cut it short for him. You know, we were actually very close to even canceling. You know, because if just imagine, I mean, without Toby, Avantasia wouldn't really make sense. So it's like. It was a question of if he could make it at all, but he got himself together and he got some medication or whatever. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
And he did a pretty good job there, but it's not really difficult. I must tell you the guys of Avantasia are very cool anyway. It's also Eric Martin who came to the game.
Yeah.
It's a very sweet person. You know, it's just a great bunch of people. So it's like. There is not a lot of stress going on anyway. So something like that, we can always back each other up, you know, if someone's not really there.
All right, cool. And I have another question. It's Alonzo USA /Chile. What are your feelings and opinions towards the music industry nowadays? You know, in regards to downloading versus legal and illegal downloading, or was it better back in the day when you sold records but the record company took all your money, or is it better today where you know you get all the money but there's no money to get?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you still had at least enough money, you know. So it's very true. The record company took most of the money, but I really think people should have more of a moral approach to these kind of things. You know, we're always socially responsible for what we're doing in life, and I know a lot of musicians who are suffering a lot. You know, musicians that were able to make a decent living with what they were doing. That's their job. That's what they love to do. That's what they work hard for. And now because everybody thinks, oh, I can get it for free, so I take it for free. You know, they're suffering, and that causes a lot of misfortune. Is that the right word for it?
Misfortune. No.
Yeah, a lot of social.
You know, basically they have to get jobs on the side. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and in the end, music will suffer by that. You know,
can you really say that though, Michael? Music will suffer because.
Yeah, you haven't got as much energy for it. If you have to have a job on beside you, a weekend warrior, and that's what your music's going to be like sooner or later. Our energy is just limited, my friend.
First of all,
you know, if you can't do that 100%, what you're doing, you know, it will suffer sooner or later.
Personally, I am against illegal downloading. I try to buy as many albums as I can.
Yeah, me too.
And
there are not so many that I want to buy anyway. So it's like the ones that I want to have, I always buy. You know. But
I also found the internet has done something else. It has actually created a lot of freedom for bands.
Absolutely.
You know, for better or for worse. Now bands.
There's a lot of great things about the internet. Yeah. I mean, I love the internet. You know, I'm an internet junkie. I mean, I'm every day I'm on the internet. You know, like. It's a lot of good things there, but there's also a lot of bad things. You know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I can remember the '80s. I mean, bands, you know, suddenly they had a cult following because they were themselves. Suddenly, the business got their hands into them, sort of like Raven, right? And suddenly they're jumping, you know, with hockey helmets, you know, out of lockers, and you know, with makeup, and suddenly, you know, the music goes sour, right? So we don't have that limitation anymore. Now you make the music you want to make, but the downside.
And you know what? Sorry, I'm always interrupting you.
Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry. No, it's good. Finish what you're saying.
Now, I personally still believe that you can do very okay as a band. You know, if you are able to have to create a fan base that really cares. You know, if you have the fast food music, I honestly think will die out more and more, and we'll have more and more problems.
Yeah.
But I think that I like to believe that the passionate music
Yeah.
will always find its followers. And as far as I can tell, there are many people who want to have something in their hands.
Yeah.
You know, they want to have the CD, they want to have the booklet and whatever, and they want to support their bands. And I think that's the way it should go. You know, you should try to be having something to say as a musician or as a band, and to make sure that you have people interested, that you're able to keep on doing it. You know.
Yeah.
I think I'm still quite positive because as you said rightly, I mean, there's a lot of things that are very positive. There's a lot of you don't depend on magazines anymore. You know, you don't depend on having interviews in printed magazines. You can write what you think and put it online. You know, you just have your own homepage and express how you feel and how you think, and nothing gets filtered anymore by other people. Or you can even put your music out there and everybody can buy it from you or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that are really, really artistically liberating to a certain extent. You know,
absolutely. What about, you know, a good example, just to like leave you with this, is Blaze Bayley. I just did an interview with him, and he's completely self-sufficient. I mean, he releases his own music under his own label, and he sells it on his own website. And I just saw him last night in concert, and the fans just went nuts, and they just love
that's
him.
the thing. That's the thing.
But it's
when
tough.
you do something like that, you know, the fans at least know whatever they pay goes to him. You know, and
That's
there's not people between you and the artist that are just sucking in everything. You know.
But it's interesting because only in the 80s and 90s did bands actually really make money. I mean, if you go back to the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, you know, there were gangsters, the record companies, and there weren't even that many record companies to begin with. They're just gangsters taking it all.
I mean, Elvis never made a lot of money. I mean, he was still a millionaire, but compared to the record sales that he had, he was screwed. You know, he was like, it was unbelievable how much money had been taken from him. But it's like the Beatles and Elvis and lots of other artists. They have kind of built the market, and then the legal side of it protected the artist more. So it's like at the late 70s and in the 80s and possibly the 90s was really a good time, and now it dies out because of other reasons. You know.
So we've come, actually, the reality is we've come full circle from musicians making nothing to making a lot of money to going back to making nothing. So that's how I think it's evolved, or actually I don't think it's devolved, but it's just spun in a circle. I mean, from the history of time, artists really never made that much money. It was always the concert where they made their money. And let's bring it back to Place Vendôme now. What about the tour? What's going on here? Are you guys going to do any concerts? What kind of tour are we looking at? Worldwide tour? Or is it just going to be...
we're not going to tour with Place Vendôme. Place Vendôme is really just a project. Has always been. Even though I'm in a band with Dennis now... Yeah. And with Costa, but that's the thing. We are in a band now. We have Unisonic, and that's what we're focusing on.
Sure.
And that's what we're playing live with. So it's like I don't see Place Vendôme doing any sort of live shows. It's really just an album concept, you know.
Yeah. How about, so you got the Unisonic website. You guys are going to go on tour. Is it going to be in the near future, or we're looking at a year from now?
Well, we're trying to make a record first.
Okay, I have that album. I think it's a great album as well, by the way.
Yeah, well, we're trying to make another one now. I mean, I've already written a couple of songs that I have sent to Dennis, and they liked it, and we're still waiting for Kai to get ready. He's still very busy with the Gamma Ray production.
So we got so we got Unisonic.
Booking festivals.
Okay, yeah.
For in Europe over here for the summer. There'll be lots of live playing, but the key thing is to have a record out first, like before the summer starts, you know.
What would you like to tell all your fans as a final note?
Well, come to the shows. You know, you never know how long
you got to come here, though.
Last, you know.
Come to the shows, buy the records. Place Vendôme, Thunder in the Distance, Unisonic, the original, the first album, right? It's just called Unisonic. Another wonderful album, hard rock, melodic. You know, the voice, Michael Kiske. It's thanks for taking the time out and speaking to us. And,
thanks for your interest, man.
Pick up Thunder in the Distance, Place Vendôme's new album, and anything else you can get your hands on from Michael Kiske.
Thanks, man.